With scientists around the world racing to develop coronavirus vaccines, a new report says the Trump administration is considering an emergency use authorization of a vaccine being developed right now at Oxford University. Dr. Anthony Fauci, though, says it is a bad idea to rush out a vaccine before it's fully tested. Charlie Dagovic got an exclusive look inside a lab that is working on a method to produce up to 3 billion doses of the vaccine. Charlie, good morning to you. It's a challenge to make 3 billion of anything, isn't it?
Good morning. Well, scientists tell us nothing on this scale has even been attempted before. Now, this lab is meeting that challenge head on. And remember, this billion-dollar bet is on a vaccine that has yet to reach the final phase of testing. If it fails, it all gets scrapped. There is no plan B. Swirling around in these flasks may be the world's greatest hope in bringing an end to the pandemic, the very Oxford vaccine itself. The Paul Corporation lab looks like a cross between an industrial kitchen and an operating room, where bioreactors share space with monkey wrenches.
So this is
The masks and gowns are less about our protection than us contaminating the facility. When its Oxford University vaccine began to show promise earlier this year, drug giant AstraZeneca approached Director of Strategy Clive Glover with a challenge.
So the initial challenge was to make a process that could be used to make millions of doses in a single batch. Millions of doses in a single batch, which could then be repeated.
The eyes of the world have been fixed on the science behind the Oxford vaccine and whether it works. But it wouldn't go anywhere without this, the hardware. Glover told us the process of developing a system to scale up like this usually takes years. They came up with this blueprint within 8 weeks. In all of your years, you've never seen anything like this.
No, there's no question that the speed with which we worked on this process is unprecedented.
A small starter batch of the vaccine is multiplied in this bioreactor until it produces millions of infected cells. Those cells are then broken down, the vaccine is isolated, and the rest of the system is essentially just a series of filters that remove cell debris and suspect contaminants.
This is a classic engineering problem. How do you take your mother's favorite cookie recipe and make it exactly the same way thousands and millions of times?
This equipment gets shipped out to manufacturers throughout the world. There is no time to spare and zero margin for error. The Oxford vaccine is one of several leading candidates, including Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech. Russia's vaccine has skipped large-scale phase 3 testing, offering inoculation to anyone who chooses to have one. Of course, Glover's gunning for the Oxford vaccine, and he's put more than his reputation on the line. He's taken part in a trial himself.
What has been very gratifying about this process is to be so closely engaged as both an end user and as involved with the manufacturing.
Well, you don't get more personally engaged than that.
You don't get more personally engaged.
This morning, the director of the Oxford vaccine said it's just possible they may have enough data to present to regulators later this year. As for AstraZeneca, they have told us they have not held any discussions about fast-tracking the vaccine with anybody. Anthony?